Hi, I'm Gray. For 12 years, I believed I had the perfect marriage with Vanessa. We met in college, married young, and built what I thought was a solid life together. But looking back, I should have seen the warning signs. Gray, we need to talk, Vanessa said one evening, not even looking up from her phone as I walked through the door. I set my briefcase down, loosening my tie. Sure, what's up? I'm not happy anymore, she said flatly. I haven't been for a while. What? Where is this coming from? I sank into the chair across from her. Is this about the promotion? Because I told you once I get settled. It's not about your job, she cut me off, finally looking at me with those cold blue eyes. It's about us. We want different things. I need more excitement, more passion. We can work on that, I insisted, leaning forward. Couples therapy, date nights, whatever you want. She laughed, but it wasn't the laugh I fell in love with. That's so like you, Gray. Always trying to fix things like they're one of your legal cases. Because marriage is worth fighting for, Vanessa. Not this one, she said, sliding a folder across the coffee table. I want a divorce. My stomach dropped as I stared at the papers. You've already drawn up papers? How long have you been planning this? Long enough to know it's what I want. That night, I called my brother Alex, who came over immediately. I just don't understand, I told him as we sat on the porch. The divorce papers still untouched inside. Yesterday, we were talking about vacation plans for summer. Alex shook his head. Man, I hate to say this, but Vanessa's been different lately. Rachel saw her having lunch with that guy from her office. What's his name, Ethan? Her marketing director? My mind raced. She said those were business lunches. Maybe they were, Alex backpedaled, seeing my expression. But Rachel said they looked close. Why didn't you tell me? Because it was just lunch and I didn't want to be that guy throwing suspicions around. The next morning, I confronted Vanessa as she packed an overnight bag. Are you leaving me for Ethan? I asked directly. She froze momentarily before continuing to fold a blouse. That's not what this is about. Just answer the question, Vanessa. Ethan understands me, she finally said. He appreciates my ambitions. He doesn't try to put me in some suburban box. I started, but she held up her hand. I've already rented a place. I'll send someone for the rest of my things, she said, zipping her bag. My lawyer will contact yours. As she walked to the door, she turned. I hope we can keep this civil, Gray, for both our sakes. After she left, I sat in silence until my phone rang. It was Diane, my paralegal of 8 years and closest confidant at the firm. Alex called me, she said. Want me to come over? No, I need to be alone tonight. My voice cracked. But tomorrow, can you recommend the best divorce attorney in town? Someone who isn't me? Already on it, Diane replied. And Gray, she's making a mistake. You know that, right? I stared at the wedding photo on our mantle. Yeah, she just doesn't know it yet. The next few weeks passed in a blur of legal meetings and awkward exchanges of belongings. My attorney, Marcus Rivera, was ruthlessly efficient. Gray, I need you to be completely honest, Marcus said during our third meeting. Was there any infidelity on your part? Absolutely not, I replied firmly. And on hers? I hesitated. I have suspicions about her and a colleague, but nothing concrete. Marcus leaned back in his chair. If there was infidelity, it could impact the settlement. We should investigate. Is that really necessary? I asked. I just want this over with. Trust me, he said. Protecting your interests isn't vengeful. It's smart. Later that day, I met my friend Carlos for lunch. As the owner of a security firm, he had connections everywhere. So she just blindsided you? Carlos asked incredulously. After 12 years? Completely, I confirmed, pushing my untouched food around. Says she needs excitement now. And you think this Ethan guy is involved? Carlos lowered his voice. Want me to have someone look into it? No, I said firmly. No private investigators or anything shady. Not shady, Carlos corrected. Just information you deserve to have. Think about it. That evening, Vanessa's sister Megan unexpectedly showed up at my door. I'm sorry, she blurted before I could speak. I tried to talk her out of this. I stepped aside to let her in. You knew she was planning to leave? For about a month, Megan admitted, looking guilty. She made me promise not to tell you, but what she's doing now isn't right. What do you mean what she's doing now? Megan pulled out her phone. She's already moved in with him, Gray. They've been together for months, and she's trying to hide assets from you. She showed me social media posts that Vanessa had blocked me from seeing. Her and Ethan in our vacation spot in the Keys, dated 3 months before our separation. There's more, Megan continued. That investment account you two opened? She transferred her half to a private account last month. I called Marcus immediately. This changes things, he said after I explained. Forward everything Megan showed you. We'll subpoena the financial records tomorrow. I don't want to destroy her, I insisted. I just want what's fair. Gray, Diane interjected from the speakerphone. She's not playing fair. You need to protect yourself. Diane's right, Marcus agreed. And with these developments, we have leverage for a more favorable settlement. After they hung up, Megan squeezed my hand. I'm sorry it turned out this way. You deserved better. Why are you helping me? I asked. She's your sister. Because what she's doing is wrong, Megan said simply. And because you've always been good to me. Better than Ethan will ever be to her. The next day, I received a voicemail from Vanessa. Gray, we need to talk. In person. I heard Megan visited you. Whatever she told you, there are two sides to every story. Meet me at Riverside Cafe tomorrow at noon. I played the message for Diane as we prepared for court. Are you going? She asked. Yes, I replied, but not alone. The Riverside Cafe bustled with lunch patrons when I arrived with Marcus. Vanessa's eyes widened when she saw I hadn't come alone. Really, Gray? You brought your lawyer to lunch? She glanced nervously at Ethan beside her. You brought yours. I nodded toward Ethan. Or is he wearing two hats these days? Ethan shifted uncomfortably. Look, man, this doesn't have to be hostile. I agree, I said calmly, sliding into the booth across from them. So let's talk about the investment account you emptied, Vanessa. And the trips to the Keys that apparently weren't work-related. Her face paled. Megan had no right. To tell the truth, I finished. Funny how that works. Those funds were mine, she insisted, from my inheritance. Marcus cleared his throat. The account was jointly held, established after the inheritance was received. The timing of the withdrawal, 1 week before filing for divorce, suggests premeditation to hide marital assets. We can discuss this privately, Vanessa hissed, looking around at nearby tables. This isn't appropriate. Neither is adultery, I said quietly, but that didn't stop you. Ethan leaned forward. Listen, Gray, we never meant to hurt you. These things just happen. Things don't just happen, Ethan, I replied. People make choices. You both made yours. Vanessa reached for my hand, but I pulled away. Gray, please, I made a mistake, okay? Maybe we rushed into this divorce thing. Rushed? I laughed incredulously. You've been planning this for months while lying to my face. I was confused, she insisted, tears forming. But seeing you like this, so cold and calculating, it's not you. You're right, I agreed. The old Gray would have begged you to reconsider. This Gray knows his worth. We can still fix this, she pressed, glancing nervously at Ethan, who looked increasingly uncomfortable. We have history. 12 years. Gray. 11 good years and 1 year of deception, I corrected. The math doesn't work in your favor. Marcus passed her a document. Our revised settlement proposal, given the new evidence, will need the transferred funds returned to the joint account pending equitable distribution. This is ridiculous, she snapped, scanning the document. I won't be punished for wanting happiness. It's not punishment, Vanessa, it's consequence. You're enjoying this, aren't you? She accused, making me look bad, trying to take everything. I'm not taking anything that isn't legally mine, I said calmly, unlike some people at this table. You've changed, she said, narrowing her eyes. The Gray I knew would never be this cold. The Gray you knew trusted his wife implicitly, I replied. That Gray disappeared the moment you betrayed that trust. I didn't betray, she started. The Keys, Vanessa, I interrupted. 3 months before you asked for divorce. The secret account transfers. The lies about working late. What would you call it? An older couple at the next table glanced over, clearly uncomfortable with our increasing volume. People grow apart, Ethan interjected, trying to sound reasonable. Nobody's the villain here. Interesting perspective from the man sleeping with someone else's wife, Marcus observed dryly. Ethan stood suddenly. This was a mistake. We should go. Sit down, Ethan, Vanessa commanded. To my surprise, he obeyed. Gray, she tried again, voice softening. Remember our anniversary in Maui? How we promised to always be honest? I'm being honest now. I made a terrible mistake. I miss you. I studied her face, the same face I'd woken up to for 12 years. Once, her tears would have devastated me. The settlement offer stands, I said finally. Your lawyer has 48 hours to respond before we proceed to court. As I stood to leave, Vanessa grabbed my arm. You'll regret this, Gray. No one will ever love you like I did. That's what I'm counting on, I replied, gently removing her hand. Because your kind of love, I never want to experience that again. 6 months later, the divorce was finalized. The court ruled in my favor on most counts, particularly after Vanessa's financial maneuvers came to light. I wasn't interested in punishing her, just in fair distribution of what we'd built together. Congratulations, Diane said as we left the courthouse. How does it feel to be officially single? Honestly, lighter than I expected, I admitted as we walked to a celebratory lunch with Alex and Marcus. You handled yourself with remarkable dignity, Marcus commented as we settled into our booth. Most clients in your position want blood. I just wanted closure, I replied, and to move forward with my life. Over the past months, Diane had been my rock, first as my paralegal, then as my friend, and recently as something more. We'd been careful to keep things professional until the divorce was final, but our connection was undeniable. Speaking of moving forward, Alex said with a knowing smile, when are you two going to admit there's something happening here? Diane blushed. Is it that obvious? Only to anyone with eyes, Marcus laughed. I reached for Diane's hand under the table. We're taking things slow. After 12 years of fast, slow sounds perfect, she replied, squeezing my hand. 2 weeks later, Diane and I had our first official date at Milano's, coincidentally Vanessa's favorite restaurant. I hadn't planned it that way, but fate has a sense of humor. We were laughing over dessert when I noticed Vanessa enter with a woman I recognized as her friend Jessica. The moment she saw us, she froze. Don't look now, I murmured to Diane, but my ex-wife just walked in. Diane continued her story without missing a beat. Her grace under pressure was just one of the things I admired about her. Vanessa approached our table, Jessica trailing awkwardly behind. Gray, she said, her voice tight. What a surprise. Vanessa, I nodded politely. You remember Diane from the firm? Of course, she replied, eyes narrowing at our entwined hands. That didn't take long. Actually, Diane responded smoothly. We waited until everything was finalized. Some people respect boundaries that way. Jessica tugged at Vanessa's sleeve. Our table's ready. How's Ethan? I asked conversationally. Vanessa's expression darkened. We're taking a break, actually. I'm sorry to hear that, I said genuinely. Despite everything, I never wished her unhappiness. Are you? She challenged. Because it seems like you've moved on just fine. I have, I acknowledged. That's what people do after divorce. We should talk sometime, she said, lowering her voice. I've been doing a lot of thinking about us. There is no us anymore, Vanessa, I said gently but firmly. Just two people who used to be married. You don't mean that, she insisted. 12 years doesn't just disappear. No, it doesn't, I agreed. But it does end, and that's okay. After they left, Diane raised an eyebrow. Are you all right? Better than all right, I realized. For the first time in a year, I feel completely free. Later that week, Alex and Rachel invited us over for dinner. Carlos and his wife Elena joined us. To new beginnings, Alex toasted, raising his glass. And to my brother, who showed us all what dignity looks like under fire. And to Vanessa, Carlos added with a mischievous grin, for being stupid enough to let this guy go. Her loss, Diane's gain. As laughter filled the room, I looked at these people who had stood by me through the darkest year of my life. There was no bitterness in my heart anymore, just gratitude and hope. You know what's funny? I said to Diane as we drove home. A year ago, I thought my life was ending. Now I realize it was just beginning. She smiled, the streetlights illuminating her face. That's not funny, Gray. That's beautiful. The truth is, I didn't need revenge. Living well, moving forward with integrity, and finding unexpected joy. That was victory enough. And as for Vanessa, I wish her well, genuinely. Some lessons are hard-learned, but necessary. Have you ever had to rebuild after losing something you thought was essential? Trust me on this. Sometimes what you build in the aftermath is stronger than what you lost. Like this story? Let me know in the comments below.